the favorite. It seems. What are
Yeah, so
what were the names?
you have Pompon, Pombon.
Pombon. That's the
That's the
dog fire
fire
type.
one. He's the puppy Pokemon. He's the fire type. And then you have Gekwa. He's the water gecko
Yep.
Pokemon.
See, that's the one I'm picking because I pick water
Yeah.
type every single game. I always pick the water type.
And then you have the superior one. That is
And
the
that's
bird.
just because he's a bird. That's the only reason that you're saying that
Yeah.
it's a superior.
Well, guess
one.
what? He is better. His name is Brout.
Yeah,
So,
that one. I mean, you always pick the leaf type, but I always pick water.
I
type.
do. I do always pick the grass type for the most part. There's a few scenarios where I pick.
All right, welcome back. We are here now, beginning the month of March, March 3rd. Today
It is. It is March. We've been doing this now for a few months. Got some episodes out.
I know we've got a few months behind us, and now we are in my birthday month, which is very exciting. Here in a couple weeks, but yeah, March 3rd, and today's episode very specifically is piggybacking off of something that was kind of a big deal a few days ago.
And something that I am a big fan of. We get to talk about Pokemon.
It is. It's all things Pokemon today, piggybacking on Pokemon Day on the 27th. Today's episode is going to be called Evolution Complete. And our story mode is exactly that. All things Pokemon related. We're going to talk some general highlights from the 30th anniversary event. Just general kind of recap information as well as just general nostalgia like always. Talk about Pokopia, the releases that just occurred with LeafGreen and FireRed. You know, all things Pokemon, basically, is going to be the story mode for today. And then our side quests, we're going to have now loading. So our fun game social media trend segment that I notoriously screwed up, but this one shouldn't be that difficult. We're going to do
always.
I know.
Yep.
But we're going to do some blind ranking of the first 151. So we're each going to give each other 10 random Pokemon and see what our list is going to look like. And then we've got a new segment called Split Screen, which very specifically is going to look at something that existed then and also exists now and just do some kind of comparisons. So being that everything is Pokemon related today, we will be focusing on Pokemon for that. So
more Pokemon.
That's right. Now, you know, we've got some bullet points to keep us on track for that. You know, we're going to talk about the games, the TCG, and kind of the anime as far as that goes. So other than that, I think that about does it for press start. Is there anything I missed?
Not that I can think of. Let's talk about some Pokemon.
Yep. Let's just go ahead and get into it and begin Evolution Complete. All right. So I cannot remember when the event started. Were you home already when the event started? Were you able to watch it, or were you all in the air?
I was home, but I had to sleep because I worked.
That's right. Okay. I didn't know if you had even made it back where you were going to be able to watch it.
Yeah, no. I worked till I got home and then immediately had to work.
Oh, gosh.
Like, literally like 2 hours after I got home.
So. The jet lag is real.
Yeah, I had a rough day. But then I got real excited when I woke up and realized that I had a 30-minute video to watch about Pokemon.
Oh, man. And I watched it live. And, you know, it's interesting. There were so many speculations and rumors and all, you know, as it is all the time with these events, like leading into them, like what are we going to see? What are they going to talk about? And I mean, I feel like they touched on freaking everything.
That is something that I think Pokemon does really good about. Like, even if there's a bunch of leaks and things like that, they usually, no one ever gets all of them. Not with Pokemon.
No. And they don't necessarily always get them right either. I mean, you know.
Right. Like, I saw a couple of them. I saw before, leading up to that, there was a big thing about how they thought that they were going to remake Silver and Gold again as well. I had seen a bunch of stuff about that. One of my big ones that it caught me off guard. I was not ready for them to release Pokemon XD Gale Darkness on the GameCube.
Oh, yes. That one?
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because there's so few GameCube games with the Switch 2, with the GameCube Classics. I kind of forget about it. Like, I booted it up as soon, like when I first got my Switch 2, but I haven't touched it since.
Yeah, there's not very many on there.
And,
That's for sure.
and to be honest, I don't think I ever played XD. Like, I really don't. Like, I remember playing Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, like N64, but I don't think I ever played anything on the GameCube Pokemon wise. Like, I don't even know. I mean, they had XD, but I don't know if they had anything else on the GameCube.
They had Coliseum was on it.
That's right. That's right. Which was basically like a Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, it was basically Pokemon Stadium, but it kind of had like a story mode in a way because it was the one with Groudon and Kyogre.
Right. Right.
So that was that, and then
Darkness. And that was, I mean, talk about leaks and theories. Like I didn't see that anywhere. Like that one was
I didn't see anything
out
about
of
that.
left field.
The big things that I saw was, of course, with the announcement of Wind and Waves now.
Yep.
The speculation of that and the leaks and things like that. Now I hadn't seen a leak about the starters at all. Like
no, that was the only thing that I had really seen with Wind and Waves, like leak and insight wise, was the title Wind and Waves, and that it would be like in the Oceania, Asian region. Like that was the only two things. Like they had not somehow managed to not leak anything starter related.
Which is crazy to me because that's something that usually I feel like the last couple, like there's at least been speculation of kind of what they are. Like this is a bird type, or this is going to look like a bird. This one's going to look like this. I hadn't heard a single thing about the starters for Wind and Waves.
No, and let's see what I know right now. The daggone Pomeranian fire type is the favorite. It seems. What are the names?
You have Pombon.
That's the dog.
That's the fire type. One. He's the puppy Pokemon. He's the fire type. And then you have Gekwa. He's the water gecko Pokemon.
Yep. See, that's the one I'm picking because I pick water type every single game. I always pick the water type.
And then you have the superior one. That is
that's just because he's a bird. That's the only reason that you're saying that it's a superior.
Well, guess what? He is better. His name is Brout.
Yeah, so, that one. I mean. You always pick the leaf type, but I always pick water.
I do always pick the grass type for the most part. There's a few scenarios where I do pick the water or fire.
Yeah.
But that I didn't. Obviously, the grass one's the one I prefer.
No, that's fair.
I will say that I also usually don't actually pick who I choose until I see the evolutions, which this not coming out till 2027. We won't see anything else on it until about September-ish. Probably they'll probably do Pokemon World Championships. Which, speaking of World Championships, Pokemon Champions actually got a release date in April.
That's true, but before we jump into that though, that I do want to that was my biggest disappointment though from the event was I really could have sworn that Wind and Waves would have come out this year. So the fact that it said 2027, and I mean it has to be Q1. Like surely they're going to do like a March of 27 and not like the end of 27.
I was trying to think of when Scarlet and Violet came out, like what time of year?
Because sometimes there's some similarities there.
There's usually similarities. I haven't actually looked up the date, but I feel like it came out later in the year. I think it came out
November,
around falls.
Yeah, it was November 18th of 22. So I mean, which is insane. So Scarlet and Violet is the last mainline Pokemon game, and that was 2022. So that means it's going to be basically 5 years before we get.
That kind of tracks, though. That's not super far off.
Which one came out before Scarlet? Sword and Shield?
Yeah, which was about a 5-year thing.
Now,
because with the release of DLC,
it's 2019. There was a 3-year gap between those.
I think they're changing because of DLC. Because the DLCs
that's fair
now. Because the Sword and Shield was the first one they ever did DLC on. So
that is true. And then of course they're doing DLC. They did DLC for Scarlet and Violet. They're doing DLC for ZA. But no, that was my biggest disappointment was the fact that it wasn't going to be till 27. So yeah, I think you're right. We won't see anything evolution wise until
the end of this year.
Well,
probably
we'll see it end of this year, or if they are going to do a Q4. release of 27, we probably won't see anything until Pokemon
No,
Day
I
next
think you'll
year.
see starters. I think you'll see starters. That's what I was getting at with the World Championships. They usually do a big reveal of some sort on the World Championships, like something's announced.
Oh, and that's
So that
August,
could
right?
be, yeah, it's August, September is normally when it is. Um, and that's why they're doing the release of Champions.
Yeah, what was the date? It was April, wasn't it, that they were doing
They
that?
didn't give it. They just said April. I don't remember seeing an actual date.
Yeah.
It's going to be April for Switch, and then it's going to come out on mobile later.
And
Um,
isn't it essentially just like a Pokemon Stadium,
it is.
a
It is
hyper competitive
literally.
Pokemon Stadium?
It is literally what you would ranked battle on your Switch, like on Scarlet and Violet. That's what it is.
It's just its own
Um,
standalone, and you can pull
yeah,
in
so
Pokemon from
it's going to
Pokemon
connect to
Home and
Pokemon
all that.
Home. It's
Yep.
going to connect to Pokemon Home, so you're going to be able to take your actually because FireRed and LeafGreen, they're connected to Pokemon Home.
Not yet, but it's coming.
Well, they're going to be sorry, and then Zeta A and Scarlet and Violet are both connected to Pokemon Home. So basically, you're going to have to move your Pokemon to Pokemon Home, and then you can pull them to play Pokemon Champions. And it is strictly just a basically battle, but you're able to play it. It is the first time you're able to play somewhat of a mainstream style Pokemon game on your phone.
Right, that's true. Yeah, I mean, and I know they're launching it on the Switch in April, and then the mobile will come later.
Which is
Now,
the same thing they did with Pokemon Unite.
yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation 9,287 times. Like, I am not a competitive person. So, like, I'll play Champions just for the sake of it being
Yeah,
a
you
new
won't mess with
Pokemon game.
Champions very much.
No,
I will mess with Champions a lot.
yeah, I'll play it for the sake of playing it, but there's just when it comes to the competitive scene of anything, there's just too many sweats and like it will end up being a problem.
Yeah. So, but you have that's kind of the big thing about winning waves, because that was the biggest announcement.
Oh, without a doubt. And
For sure.
of course they close with that. Like that's kind of like I was watching the whole thing and I'm like, okay, this is all great, but I was waiting for Wind and Waves, and of course that's how they closed it. Which is outstanding. I mean, I do love the in the trailer like there's the whole underwater aspect and everything too. So I mean, who knows what all they're going to be, doing with it with the fact that they're giving themselves till 2027.
Yeah. And they're actually doing so the World Championships of this year for Pokemon. You can actually buy your tickets. Just fun fact, it's starting in April. They're doing like an interest list is how they do it because they have that Pokemon XP event that's going along with it this year, which is new.
Yeah, in the championships, I don't think I realized. Like I thought it was just the is it
It's
is it historically just the card game, and then with
no,
champions now
no. No, it's been so every year Pokemon is VGC, which is the Video Game Championships.
I was going to say you're
TCG,
going to have to clarify because I don't know what that stuff is.
TCG,
I
which
know
is
what that is.
trading card games. So do you remember the fighting Pokemon game?
Pokken tournament. Yeah.
Pokemon Tournament. They had it for a long time,
Okay.
and then it was Pokemon Go, and then Pokken dropped about 2 or 3 years ago, I think,
Well,
and
oh, you mean dropped from the World Championship?
from the championships.
Oh, gotcha.
And Unite got picked up,
Which
so
is
now
that MOBA Smite clone.
Yep. So it's now you have Pokemon Go, Unite, TCG, VGC.
Good lord! So they do all kinds of different stuff.
Yep. First place, and they're a little different than your other games. Like if you go to a Magic tournament, like a Nationals for Magics, I'm pretty sure the payout's like pretty big because it's a bit.
Oh yeah.
Because of how it is.
Yeah.
So Pokemon, I don't know how they do it now. Because they do it in divisions. Because like there's a
Oh, that's right. There's like a kids division.
it's like minor. It's like minor, senior, masters.
Yeah.
There might be another one in between. But what they do for like kids, it's a scholarship, or it used to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's a scholarship, and then the masters, of course, you just win the fit.
Well, considering they don't push college the way that they did when we were growing up, I bet it's not a scholarship
It may just
anymore.
be money.
It's probably just money, because they don't force college down all the kids' throats like they did us.
Yeah, now they're showing people to be in a trade and stuff like that.
Right. But yeah, that was the thing that was so funny with all the Pokemon Go announcements. Like I haven't played Pokemon Go in forever.
I don't
But
play Pokemon Go. That is one game that I just don't. I don't know why. I just don't.
no, you know what's funny? When Pokemon Go came out, which was in 2016, that was right when I got diagnosed with diabetes, and they got told I had to lose a bunch of weight and stuff. And
He's walking a lot, right?
yeah. I mean, the thing was, Pokemon Go came out, and I wound up losing like 70 pounds in like 3 months, and it was because I was walking like 10 to 12 miles a day playing Pokemon Go. And I mean, I loved it. I mean, I've booted it up a little bit here and there, but at the ice cream shop, like it gets super, super busy when there's big Pokemon Go events. So I told
Because
mom
right at
this past weekend, I was like, 'cause she was going to open, and I was like, well, just so you know, the Pokemon people are going to be out in droves. And yeah, she had a very, very busy weekend with a bunch of Pokemon people because of all the Pokemon Go events that were going on specifically for the weekend.
right.
So I didn't get or understand most of those announcements. I just knew it was a big deal.
So I don't. Like I said, I've never really played Pokemon Go. I played it when it first came out. We actually went and did some stuff with it. Like we went downtown, and then we went over the bridge and
Oh yeah, there's
stuff
some
like
very
that. Like there's all
key
kinds
areas. Yeah.
yeah. So moving on from that, of course, you got the Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green re-release. That just came out.
Yes, which I had to bum rush Resident Evil this past weekend because I was so excited also about Fire Red. I didn't get them both. I just got Fire Red. But
And I'll be getting Leaf Green.
of course, and you'll be picking Bulbasaur because you picked
Yes,
the
I
grass
will.
type. But
Yes, I will.
of course, I picked Squirtle. But the Fire Red and Leaf Green announcement, people were getting nervous because like they knew it was releasing right after the event, but the shop description had Pokemon Home support like coming in the future, and then they changed the actual storefront to where it didn't say that. So people were getting really nervous about whether or not it was actually going to have home support. So luckily, they clarified that.
Yeah, they did clarify it, saying that that's happening. So that's good.
Which I've been, of course, loving playing Fire Red. Like it's just been a blast.
I mean, that's you're all about nostalgia, and that's peak nostalgia.
Oh, it
that's
is.
something-
Well, and I mean I actually for all intents and purposes, I didn't play Fire Red and Leaf Green when they came out because I knew it was just a remake of Red and Blue, or for all intents and purposes, Red and Green in Japan. But and I feel like I have to look at the dates, but I guess it came out probably around the same time as the Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby generation. So I was.
It came out. It came out before those. It
Yeah.
came out. So it was like. So. Or no, maybe it came out right after. I think it was this. It was Red and Blue, and then it was Gold and Silver, and then you had. I want to say. I could be wrong on this, but I can't remember. I think it was Ruby and Sapphire, and then that came out.
Yeah, no, it looks like.
Or did those come out before?
No, it's about the same time. Fire Red and Leaf Green, they did come out before, but it was not long before. So September 7th of 2004 was when Fire Red came out. But then Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire came out a week later on September 16th. So
Wow.
that's why I didn't play Leaf Green or Fire Red.
Because you just played the new one.
Because I just jumped into the new one,
So the only thing that I feel like they did wrong with Fire Red and Leaf Green is I don't understand making it and not having online capabilities.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me because the trading, like, you can only do local.
Yeah, so which you don't have to have a link cable anymore like you used to. You can still use Bluetooth trading.
Yeah,
local.
yeah.
It's just the aspect. Like to me, that doesn't like I don't get that. I don't understand the
that kind of
not
surprised
putting
me.
it online,
But
which it could be because it's a direct port.
True, and I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I've said before I hate the mob hate mentality. The amount of people that are like just complaining and bitching about Fire Red and Leaf Green, like, don't buy this, don't support this corporate greed. You can just go download a ROM for free. Okay,
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to play it on my Switch within that ecosystem. I don't want to have to go on my computer and download
that was
a ROM.
my favorite thing about it too, is because like I was watching videos about it, and there was like all these people that were like, "Yeah, it's $20 when I can do this, and I can play it on here, and I can do this," and then the next thing you know, it switches over to their Switch, and it's like they're playing it on their Switch, and it's like, "But I did it anyway."
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I do have the emulators for the Pokemon games and stuff like that. Like, I can play it on my Steam Deck and all that. But it's just different. Like, it's just not like, you know, the simplicity of going to the eShop. Now, I will say, if they had sold these for like 50 or $60, that would be ridiculous. So I am glad that they released them like at a very reasonable price point.
$20 is good for it.
Oh,
I
100%.
genuinely think $20 is a good spot for it.
Well, and if you think about it, like we had this conversation about Resident Evil, or maybe we didn't. I think me and Brian did. But Resident Evil is all of about 10 hours, and it's a $70 game. So you figure you're basically paying, $7 an hour to play that game. Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen being $20, everyone's gonna put like a minimum of 50 hours on that game. So your pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean? So
which I know we're getting into this with their side quest, but like this game is different than what your games are now. You don't have experience share. You don't have you don't see as many rare candies. You don't see like there's a lot that's different. Like this is one where there's times that you literally are gonna just go have to grind and level your mons and stuff like that. Like you can't just play through the story mode and get everybody the same level.
Back up. What did you just say?
Level your mons?
Dude, I have never in my 30, almost 7 years of life heard anyone abbreviate Pokemon as mons, ever.
Well, you haven't watched a lot of Pokemon YouTubers.
Apparently not. I guess
I've watched a lot of Pokemon.
Is that a hyper competitive thing or something where they talk about their mons?
It's like, yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of people that say it like that. Like there's the Shady Penguin's one of them. He used to do it. A-Drive did it whenever he played a lot of Pokemon.
Holy crap! I had to catch my brain up because I'm like, did he just abbreviate Pokemon by saying mons? I had never heard that before. That's a new one. That's a new one. But no, you brought it up and I kind of skimmed right over it. But one of the other things they announced, actually the first thing they announced was that music player.
Yeah. The music player is really cool.
Yeah. Now, from what I've seen, it's like $80, so it's a little expensive. When in my brain, like I'd rather do what you did. I'd rather buy a red and blue vinyl for $30 and just listen to it on a record.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've looked at it a little bit. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a cool concept,
right?
But I had just bought that vinyl, so I don't think I will be picking it up. But that is one of the things that was.
But it's going to be.
It was a cool, like, collectible thing that they announced.
Exactly. Well, and they know. I mean, yes, there are kids and young folks that are coming into Pokemon, but I mean, they got to thrive on the nostalgia at some capacity. And yeah, I mean, like I will get that. Like there is no doubt about it. And I'm very excited about it, but I'm probably not going to rush out and get it. Because of the price point.
Well, and there was a couple things that they kind of went kind of fast over too, like the Pokemon Sleep update. I still don't know much about Pokemon Sleep.
Yeah, me neither.
The Pokemon Cafe, I know it's a mobile game. I mean, it's actually something that I'm surprised you haven't messed with just a little bit because it's kind of a cozy game. So.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, crap, that was something I was supposed to look into, and I never did. So yeah. I probably legitimately do need to. Because, yeah, I do feel like the first chunk was like all mobile related.
It was. So you have your new Pokemon Pocket set that they just put out, the Paldean Wonders or whatever.
Oh, I need to boot in and get my free stuff. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I gotta do that.
So Pokemon that's coming out. And then you have I think that's pretty much all of the main stuff. It had some stuff for Pokemon Masters that came out.
That's Pokemon. Was that another competitive thing?
No, that's what I'm trying to remember. It's the one. It's another mobile thing. I don't know much about it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
it's like a different
Masters EX or something like that.
Yeah. It's like a. I don't know. I honestly just don't know much about it, so I'm not going to say much.
Yeah, it's a one of them. It's one of them gacha games.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Howie plays the crap out of it.
Yeah,
he plays all those gacha games.
Something else, and then that's just like you have the new Zeta A, the Mega Dimension Garchomp.
Yes,
they actually put a Mega in for Garchomp that's going to come through a mystery gift.
It's already out, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I need to get the other Mega Dimension DLC.
Well, I'm getting ready to. That's what I'm gonna be honest. I've seen Resident Evil. I've seen a lot of clips from Resident Evil. I didn't end up purchasing it, even though I was super excited so far. I'm probably still going to get it eventually, but there's so much coming out on the Switch and where I play everything more mobile. I kind of want to get that on a home console.
Oh, so you decided you're not going to get it on this? I know you had talked about maybe getting it on the
Yeah,
Switch.
I think I'm gonna get it on a home console. Just because I want to see. That's a game that I feel like it should be
In
on
its
there, and there's
full
so
glory.
much coming out because like I want to play the Z-Day expansions after I'm still finishing up Dragon Quest. I have Leaf Green that I'm getting that I'm wanting to play. I'm getting, and then of course the other big topic,
the other big thing, Pokopia,
on Thursday,
which
it comes out the 5th.
Which I will tell you, I'm shocked by that. I thought that, I mean, almost every Nintendo game releases on a Friday.
Yeah, I thought Thursday, coming out on Thursday was a little weird.
Yeah, because I thought, oh, maybe they mean Thursday night at midnight. No, it actually comes out on Thursday.
Yep, it actually physically comes out on Thursday. So I won't be able to really mess with it until this weekend, but it is something that I'm going to mess with this weekend.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think, like, any new game, I generally watch a reveal trailer, and then I may watch one more. But other than that, I don't do, even with the stuff like that I'm super, super hyped for. Like, I just don't. I do it with movies too. Like, I'll watch the initial trailer and then maybe one more. Pokopia, all I needed was the first trailer, and I was like, okay, Animal Crossing meets Pokemon meets Minecraft, cozy game, I'm in for sure. But
the more you watch,
the more, like, when they showed, and I've watched one other trailer that kind of dug into a little more specifics, but that reveal, like, I feel I did not already comprehend from the other views of the whole, like, underground aspect of it.
When they turned into a Graveler on that episode.
Oh man! Well,
Well,
you brought that Pokemon Cafe thing that I need to check out, but they've got that. Like, I had not seen any cooking mechanic, and now they've got a whole cooking thing in there too.
Chef Dent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, Pokopia.
This game is going to be fun. I'm very excited for this game.
I am thrilled that after Pokopia comes out, I have nothing else on my list of new releases for 50 days after Pokopia comes out. My next game is going to be Pragmata, but that means that I'm going to be doing nothing but playing Pokopia for the next 50 days. And I guess FireRed, because there's no way I'll have the Elite Four beat and all that before, this week.
So that's what my whole plan is. And that's what my whole thing was. Because now after Pokopia, I don't really have anything that I want, that I'm super, super excited for a while.
Yeah.
So I have plenty of time to just grind Pokopia, get the DLC, play the DLC for Z to A, go through Leaf Green, and beat those. Because I'm actually doing, once I finish Dragon Quest, I'm doing pretty good this year on beating single player games, because I know we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I actually I didn't make a list of ones I wanted to beat this year because I did so bad last year. So I just am kind of making a list of the ones I am beating, and I'm up to 4 so far this year that I.
Dragon Quest will be 3 whenever I finish Dragon Quest.
See, I finished Dragon Quest, and then I finished my replay through of God of War 2018. I also replayed Metal Gear Rising after the Volume 2 announcement. I was just in a Metal Gear mood. And then, of course, just finished Requiem. So I've got 4 down so far. For single-player stuff.
Yeah, because I'm still playing multiplayer on top of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But Pokopia overall, I just think it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to be a game you're going to play for a long time. It's not going to be one you're just going to drop. It's going to be one that you can come back to and just continue to mess around with.
Oh, and that's the thing. I don't think people are prepared for. And I will say something that caught my attention with Pokopia that I didn't realize. I told Brian about it the other day. I think he's going to look into it. But, Pokopia is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. But apparently, there's 2 things that I've heard about that has caught my attention. One, the fact that it's not like Animal Crossing in the sense that in order for you to come to my island or me go to your island, we both have to be online.
Yep.
This one,
multiplayer aspect is fantastic.
It basically,
it's more like a Minecraft.
Yeah, it's got like your servers, like a Minecraft or a Valheim or whatever, but which is amazing. So we'll be able just to kind of come and go, there's probably certain people I wouldn't let just come and go to my island. I don't want them to jack stuff up. But apparently you can play Pokopia on a Switch 1, apparently via Game Share, which
I did hear.
I've never messed with that, so I'm not overly familiar.
Yeah,
But it is interesting because, like my buddy Brian, he has a Switch too, but his wife's got a Switch. And then I know same thing for you. You have a Switch, so there might be a way for it to play on a Switch 1 with whatever that Game Share mechanic is, which is just interesting in general.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot with Pokopia that I'm very excited about, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready for it to get going.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I will say, you mentioned that one of the rumors that were shuffling around, was a not a remake, but a release of Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And I'm not gonna lie, I try not to get invested in the rumors until they're confirmed. But I was pretty invested in that one. I was like, because when I think of general Pokemon nostalgia, my mind goes to red and blue and yellow more specifically, and then the original 151, for the card game. But like when I really dove back into Pokemon, like I totally did, I don't think I even played the original Gold and Silver, to be completely honest. Like I did red and blue, and then I think the next thing I went to was the Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire. But when they did that Heart Gold and Soul Silver on the DS, with that was the one that came with the Poke Walker thing. Yeah, the little pedometer thing,
where you could level by just walking.
Yeah, and I mean it's funny now because I feel like that was a precursor to Pokemon Go, like kind of thing. And I don't think I ever thought about it till really just now. But that Heart Gold and Soul Silver is probably what yanked me back into Pokemon. Like I had played it, but I wasn't like into it. That launched me back.
Dude, I have so many hours in all those Pokemon games. Like it's not even funny. I had games that just stopped working because I'd played so much of it. Like I had a Pokemon Silver. I think it was Silver originally because I had 2 copies of Silver where my original Silver stopped working. Like it stopped saving.
Oh gosh.
Because the chip went out in it. So I got another copy of it.
Now, I don't think I could Google this, but so you had Gold and Silver, but then they did Crystal.
That's when Yellow, they started that with the originals. Obviously, they always have one that has everybody.
Right. So that's what Crystal was, the combination of Gold and Silver.
It had Suicune on the front of it, and then you had Emerald, which had Rayquaza on the front of it. Yeah. And then you had.
Now that generation, it was truly three different, wasn't it? Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald truly was 3 different. They didn't really.
No. Emerald had Emerald came out afterwards. I'm pretty sure, and Emerald because I remember buying it, and you got a little tin with it whenever you bought it.
Oh.
And it was able. So it made it to where the storyline was. You ended up with a Rayquaza, and then you could get Groudon and Kyogre later. That's usually what they did.
Well, you know what? Now that triggers me to go back and look at release dates, because now when you said that, so FireRed LeafGreen came out September 6, 2004, and then a week later, Emerald came out in 2004. Ruby and Sapphire came out way before him. Came out 2002.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Was
so those were so I did Ruby Sapphire, and then when LeafGreen and FireRed came out, that's
kind of I genuinely think that's kind of what they did before online became a thing, because you couldn't get all the Pokemon, like unless you had multiples and you had multiple systems to trade on and stuff like that. Right. So Emerald and Crystal stopped that. Like you didn't have to worry about that.
Well, and I mean, I don't think that I ever made it a point to buy both, like ever, because I would not go through the effort of beating the game twice back to back. But I would ask my friends, like, "Hey, I'm getting Sapphire. What are you getting?"
Exactly.
So I'm getting Sapphire too. Okay, well, never mind. I'll get Ruby, and then we would just take care of trading.
Well, see, that's what was easy when I had with Wayne because
one of you would get one of you would get
exactly. So I remember Mom used to buy them. Like one of my earliest memories is on Christmas opening like that. You don't remember back in the day very often, like super super young. But I remember I was only like 3 or 4 years old opening the Pikachu Game Boy Color and then Pokemon Blue. I remember having both of those games.
Yeah, that was and I think I've talked about it. I mean, I think mine was a birthday present, but I very much remember the yellow Pokemon sling bag with the neon green Game Boy Color and Pokemon Yellow. That was where I started.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy Quentin had red and blue, so I played them on his Game Boy, but I didn't have a Game Boy at the time. But
Right.
so by the time I got one, it was when I got yellow, and that's the thing. Like, what's so funny is like I cannot name all 151 of the original by any means, but those are the only ones recognizable to me. Like
Shoot, the only way you name them is you got to
unequivocally.
do the rap
Oh, I know. I saw a TikTok the other day, and there were certain parts of that rap that I
that you can
remembered,
do.
like the
Yeah.
melody of. But anything beyond the 151, like I will recognize them visually, but I'm not going to know the names of them,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So the last big thing that we need to talk to you about the celebration is the new Pokemon card game set.
Yeah, and you know, I haven't done a lot of research on that yet to kind of confirm, but I know there was something with Mew and Mewtwo and
Yeah, so it's going to be they're calling it. They're just saying it's a new expansion. It's coming out in 2026. It doesn't really say much else. It just says that we can stay tuned for it. But there is a new set coming out, which is what makes sense because they did it for 151 stuff like that.
Mega Evolution Ascended Heroes, I think is
That's already out.
Oh,
That's already out.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a new set that's coming out later this year that is strictly for the 30th anniversary. It's basically going to be how they did the 151 set, which was just a collector set. This is basically going to be a collector set.
Gotcha.
Is the way that I've understood it. So people are gonna pay a ton of money for it. It's gonna be, which sucks because I'm sure there's gonna be cards I want out of it. But
yeah, well, and the thing is, like, I mean, I haven't bought regular Pokemon cards in a long time, but when they did the 151 set, like, I bought a bunch, and frankly, I made some pretty good value off of it. But I definitely did, and this 30th anniversary, if it is, it's obviously not going to be exclusive to the OGs.
This is what's crazy to me. So I was obviously in Vegas last week, so there was some stuff that they have machines all around Vegas, and it's literally where you can buy boxes of Pokemon cards.
Really? I've heard about these. Now,
when I was playing cards like Pokemon Heavy, you could buy 4 packs of cards for like $20. A single pack of cards is like $17. It was $190 for a box of Pokemon.
Well, now I don't know if
that's not retail. It's all aftermarket.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
But even retail, I think, is 130 or 140.
Yeah, they're definitely more than they used to be. I will say, talking about packs of cards, I was shocked when I went into GameStop the other day, which I know I don't go into GameStop much these days, but they had a Metal Gear Solid exclusive Funko Pop I wanted to get with Snake in a box. But they had some League of Legends Riftbound packs there, and I'm assuming these packs are going to cost what I'm used to paying. I can tell you that they were not that price. They were double that. They were like $13 a pack, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
That's what the standard is for trading card games and for quote unquote resale.
That's absolutely insane to me. Like
I mean, that's what my whole thing is, and that's why it's like hard for me to get. That's why I've told you multiple times I want to get back into Pokemon, and like I could go buy singles and wouldn't spend very much on them, but like it's not as fun as cracking packs and stuff like that.
Exactly. See, that's my whole thing. Like when you told me that, it's like, oh, I can get a meta, whoop ass deck and spend less than $40, and it would be able to compete very well. But like you don't get the feel good of cracking packs, whenever you do that. I mean, but I guess if you were wanting to get, which you are significantly more competitive than me, if you're wanting to get into it from a competitive standpoint, well then yeah, pay $50, get you a meta deck, and then just buy packs just for fun.
Exactly. Or win packs, whichever way you want to do it.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I have thought about. We've talked about it, getting back into playing Pokemon or having a deck around. So if we decide we wanted to play, because the mechanics, that's the thing I love about Pokemon, though, is the mechanics for the most part haven't really changed a whole lot.
They add like you have like the megas and stuff like that, where the megas are may give you, I think you get 3 prizes for a mega or something like that. But outside of that, like the game itself hasn't really changed.
Yeah, like the fact that like every time they've come out with a mobile version, like they came out with that mobile card game, and it's still out, I guess, because they have the barcodes in the packs and stuff. Like I played that, I was able to pick it back up and just jump right in, like very easily, because the mechanics haven't changed that much.
Right.
And of course, they have a very simplified version on the TCG Pocket. But my whole thing about trying to get back into Pokemon, like card wise, is again, the only ones I know and care about are the first 151. And these sets, of course, aren't going to focus solely on, there's over 1,000 different Pokemon now. So I'd be pulling cards and not even know what the heck I'm pulling.
Yeah. It is crazy to me that I can pretty much tell you the name of all the Pokemon when I see them.
Yeah, see, I cannot do that. Like,
I can still do it pretty heavily.
I can, if you show me a picture of one of the first 151, I can give you a name. Like, I'm not going to be able to rattle off 151 off the top of my head.
Right.
But if you show me a picture, I can. If you were to pick the 152nd Pokemon, I would not be able to tell you what its name was. Like,
yeah,
it's just one of those things. I just
overall,
cannot do it.
I mean, that's just like overall though. There was a lot coming out. We knew this was going to be a thing. Like we knew, like with Pokemon 30, that we were going to get a ton of stuff announced. I'm really excited about pretty much everything they announced. I think that Wind and Waves, like even going back to that, like did you see the stills of like the underwater and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, that was one of the things I brought up
dude,
that I was fired up for, is the underwater aspect and everything.
That was cool, and how they're doing it, and how it's basically a bunch of islands, so you're gonna have to be in the water some. Like the game looks fantastic.
Well,
and then seeing
and the fact
they do really good about like, so on those stills, every Pokemon that came out, or that video, every Pokemon that they showed is a Pokemon that's already like from previous games.
Yes.
So they don't
found
show
to be very
any
interesting
of the new Pokemon.
No. And I think that's where you're right. I think yeah, we'll get starter evolutions probably this year, but I can't imagine we'll get a full, if they're going to go with a Q4 release of 27, we won't get the like full list until next year.
Well, and that's the thing though. Like I don't know how much you follow like before Scarlet and Violet came out, you didn't know all the Pokemon that came out until like the game released. Like that's when they released the Pokedex. Because there was a couple of Pokemon that I had no idea they were a thing. Like there was a Stonehenge. Was that or was that Sword and Shield? That might have been Sword and Shield. There was one that his name was like a Stonejourner or something like that, and he literally looks like Stonehenge. Like he looks like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's just what he looks like. Like there was there's just overall, like they do very good about trying to keep it to where you still are going to be surprised running into stuff.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I was the same. Like I was hyped about everything they talked about, even the stuff I don't participate in, just because it's 30 years, I mean, basically our entire lives, and anything that
it is my entire life.
Yeah. Anything that pulls on the nostalgia strings like that, I'm going to be fired up about. If I had to say I was salty about anything, it was the fact that Winds and Waves won't be until 27. But, the other thing is too, though, Scarlet, we had this conversation with Scarlet and Violet. Like I give me the mainline story, go to this gym, mess with Team Rocket here, go to this gym. I prefer that. I wasn't a huge fan of the full open aspect of Scarlet and Violet. I got around to it and played it and finished it, and it was fine. And I know they're not going to go back to the linear format. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I also read that this is going to be more than just 8. So, like, I read somewhere that this one is going to be a full... So, every type. So, like, when you're playing gyms and stuff like that, like, it's usually like, hey, this is going to be a dark gym. This is going to be... They're actually doing a quote-unquote gym or area for every type.
Well, and that would make sense. Like, just to go ahead and blow it all up and make it, but...
That's like 16 types, though. Like, that would put the game... Like, you would play so much longer in that game.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt.
Which would be awesome.
Well, of course. But it will inevitably perform 1,000 times better than Scarlet and Violet did, because that was another reason when Scarlet and Violet came out, aside from the openness, that turned me off. But the other thing was the game crashing and how buggy it was, and how, like, I had a lot of issues, and I know that's not everyone's experience. Like, there's people I talked to that had no problems with
Yeah, I
Scarlet.
never had any problems with it.
But I mean, it was, and I'm not somebody like the people who dog Pokemon for their graphics and stuff. That's ridiculous. Like, they don't need to be hyper realistic, or anything like that. But that game performed like complete and utter just shit on the Switch. And again, I acknowledge it's not everyone's experience. You said you didn't have any issues, but I mean, for me and the people I talked to, more people had issues than didn't. So that's probably the biggest thing that makes me hyped for Winds and Waves, is because
I don't think you're going to have that, because I don't think that, like, I think that's another reason why we were looking at the timeline of how long between games. I think that's one of the reasons why this game has been.
Oh yeah,
they're taking so much time.
I mean,
one, I think they definitely wanted to wait for the Switch 2, and two, just the development of the game.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It is exclusive to the Switch 2. Like, it is not going to be playable on the first Switch. So the fact that it's being developed, and technically for the Switch 2, it's been out almost a full year, I think. Everything at this point is going to be, instead of being developed on the Switch and then up converted, it's going to be developed on the Switch 2 and then downgrade, which means just better performance in general. So
yeah,
I am ready and definitely hyped for Winds and Waves, but we've got Pokopia next week, so we don't have to wait long for new Pokemon content.
And I'll put some time into that too. So.
Oh my God, I don't even know how much time is going to get put into that game in the first month. I'm going to be destroying it.
Yeah, especially with the way that you play games, where you play 3 games at once at times. Like, that's one of yours that you're going to have.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't do that often. I usually only do that with cozy games, which this is a cozy game. So yeah, the fact that I'll be grinding Pokopia, finishing FireRed, and then still going back to like the occasional Arc Raiders and stuff. But I'm going to be grinding Pokopia so much.
Yeah. So, do we got anything else we want to talk about in the story mode?
No, I think we've been going for about 44 minutes, so I think we can probably go ahead and pivot over to our side quests and go ahead and jump into our first one for our games and such. So let's go ahead and jump into now loading. All right, so for this one, so like I said, we're going to do blind ranking, and I feel like I get like PTSD every time I say blind ranking, because I jacked up the first blind ranking that we did. But this one is
Give Chase and get this one right.
Right. I mean, it's not that difficult. So essentially,
you say that?
I know. Well, essentially, what we're going to do is I am going to. So you've got 10 slots, and I'm going to give you 10 random Pokemon. You don't know what's coming next, and you're going to put them in one.
It's basically what we did with the anime last week.
Exactly. A couple weeks ago. So I'll go first with, I'm going to give you Pokemon, and then you tell me what slot it's going to land in, and until we get to 10, and then we're going to see what your list wounds up at. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right. So for our first one, we're going to go with Abra.
He used to always piss me off. I'm going to give him a 7.
Right? The asshole teleporting away when you wanted to catch him?
Yeah, he's going to be like a 7.
All right. Abra at 7. That works. All right. Let's go with Growlithe. That was the whole reason I got FireRed, is because Growlithe and Arcanine are in FireRed, and Vulpix and Ninetales are in LeafGreen.
See, I played Blue, who had, and if I remember right, Blue is the one that had Vulpix and Ninetales. Yeah. So I didn't really ever play with Growlithe.
That's fair.
He is a very good competitive mon, though, because Arcanine is insane. So we'll put him at 4.
Growlithe at 4. That's a good spot. All right. Let's go next with Chansey.
10.
Not a fan of Chansey, apparently.
All she does is heal mons and take 15 years to kill.
Goodness gracious, that's true. Bunch of health. All right, let's go with Hitmonchan.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
I'll put him at 5.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know what you're going to give me, and I only have 3 other spots up top.
That's true. That's fair. I'll give you that. Okay, let's go with we're going to pull in one of the legendary birds and say Zapdos.
See, I knew you were going to do that. That's not my favorite legendary bird. I'll put him at 3.
Zapdos at 3? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
If you would have said Articuno, it would have been 2.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Because the problem is, I don't know if you're going to do it, so there's one spot. I got to keep the one spot open in case, because you give me my favorite Gen 1 Mon.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go with one of the Pokemon that didn't evolve or have an evolution until later in life, Scyther.
Oh, I really like Scyther.
Oh, I'm a big Scyther fan. It's another reason I got FireRed, because Scyther's in FireRed.
Big Scyther. I'm going to get one of those from you, actually. Because I have 6, 8, 9, 1, 2.
Yep.
I'm going to put him at 2.
All right, that's fair. I was worried you were going to put him low. I was going to get really nervous.
Yeah, my rankings are a little messed up on this one.
Okay, let's go random, and we're going to say Gyarados.
See, this is the thing. Now I have to put him low because he's not my number 1. And I guess I'm going to put him at 6.
Gyarados at 6? All right.
Yeah, because I can't put him at 8 or 9.
I just bought the $500 Magikarp from the guy on FireRed, too.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go back to Fire, and we're going to say Rapidash.
We can put him at... We'll put her at 9.
Okay, all right. All right, you've got 8, and you've got 1. All right, we're going to give you Poliwrath.
He's going to be an 8 because he's not even close to 1.
Oh, man. Okay, Poliwrath at 8.
I liked Poliwrath, but he was not... If I remember right, his original typing was just water, and he ends up being water fighting later in life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I liked Politoed a lot. I was a big Politoed fan when he came out.
That's fair. Well, guess who your number 1 Pokemon is?
I'm terrified.
Diglett. So your number 1.
You know, I actually use Diglett in a lot of my teams.
Hey, I'm a big fan.
Give me a Doug Trio,
I will say this, on Pokemon, the TCG Pocket, I am a huge fan of Doug Trio, where he's got that move. It does like 40 damage, but then you flip a coin. If you get heads, you don't take damage the next turn.
Yeah.
I use that so much. All right, so read off your list. Did you keep track? If you didn't, I've got it.
No, go ahead and read it off.
So
I just knew what numbers I had. I know number 1's Diglett. Number 2's Zapdos.
Number 1 was Diglett. Number 2, Scyther. Number 3, Zapdos. Number 4, Growlithe. Number 5,
single starter. That's messed up.
I know. Number 5, Hitmonchan. Number 6, Gyarados. Number 7, Abra. 8, Poliwrath. 9, Rapidash. And 10, poor old hard to kill Chansey.
There would have been a lot of changes, obviously, in this one.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. And, I mean, we don't have to dissect how you would have changed it to, but I know that it would have changed. So that's fine.
So,
all right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1 is Sandslash.
Well, we're early. So we're going to go 9 on Sandslash.
Your next one is Weedle.
So here's the thing about Weedle. Weedle evolves into a Beedrill, and Beedrill was one of my favorites. Like, I've already got a Beedrill in FireRed because I've made it a point to get him evolved quick. So we're gonna put Weedle. I don't want to go high or low. We're gonna go at 5.
Okay. Okay. Pidgeotto.
We're gonna go.
Yeah, so I'm not talking Pidgey. I'm not talking Pidgeot. I'm talking Pidgeotto.
Yeah, smack dab in the middle, because Pidgey's the first one, and then Pidgeotto, then Pidgeot. So we're gonna go Pidgeotto at 4.
Starmie.
Starmie is not one of my favorite water types, so we're gonna put Starmie at 8.
Um, we're gonna give you the legendary of Moltres.
Uh, I am a Zapdos and Articuno fan. We're gonna put Moltres at 6.
That's mine because I would have if you would have
Moltres
gave
is
me
your
Articuno.
favorite?
No, if you would have gave me Articuno, it would have been a 1.
Okay, gotcha. Fair enough. All right. Yeah, no. Zapdos is my favorite, followed by Articuno, followed by Moltres.
So now I'm gonna give you the one that you better rank it good.
All right, all right.
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Because if you rank this bad, people gonna come from
Hey,
it.
Pikachu's a staple. I mean, 100% a staple. And, I mean, it's the first electric type you can catch in Fire Red to help you in the Cerulean City against Misty. And, of course, the absolute icon of Pokemon. So I'm going to put Pikachu at 3. Because I don't know. Actually, you know what? We're going to put Pikachu at 2. We're going to put Pikachu at 2.
All right. Just a fun fact that I didn't know this back in the day. Did you know that in Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red? So you know how like moves are like special moves and then they're physical moves.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that in the original Pokemon game, so including this one, its types are physical moves and types are special moves?
I don't think I just understood what you just said.
So, for instance, if you use a normal move, like any move that is a normal type
Yeah,
move,
like quick attack, tackle,
it's
etc.
physical.
Right.
If you use a fire move, no matter what, it's special. Whereas,
Yeah.
in games now, fire punch will be physical, fire flamethrower will be special.
Oh, I didn't know that, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't know that until
My brain
literally.
has operated under the same mentality of the old games.
So,
Oh wow.
all right, so Mew.
Mew?
I loved Mew. I was a big Mew fan.
Yeah, Mew is pretty adorable. But I have a 1, a 3, a 7, and a 10. Now you could screw me like I screwed you by giving you Diglett. But I'm gonna leave my 1 slot open just in case. I don't want to. I'm not gonna put Mew at 10 though, so we'll put Mew at 7.
All right, Eevee.
Oh man, I mean Eevee's got to be. I mean, even if you think of OG Eevee that just had 3 evolution, now Eevee's got like 30, and they're all outstanding. The fact that you can have one to combat every type. I'm gonna put Eevee at number 1,
Oh,
mainly because I
Butter,
don't know if you're gonna give me something squirrely.
Butterfree.
Because I absolutely wait a minute. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. I was getting ready to go to Venomoth, but no. Butterfree is like the opposite of Beedrill, who I love, so I'm putting Butterfree at 10.
So what does that leave you with?
3.
Number 3?
That's it.
Man, do you want to know who your number 3 pick is?
Who's my number 3 pick?
Dragonite.
Hey, that's a pretty solid list. That's a pretty
Better than
solid.
mine.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So yeah, I've got Eevee, Pikachu, Dragonite, Pidgeotto, Weedle, Moltres, Mew, Starmie, Sandslash, and Butterfree. That's a pretty solid list. I'll take that.
Do you know who neither one of us put on there, but I will start with them?
Well, we didn't do any of the starters, but I felt like that would have been too easy to pick a starter.
Yeah. No, the Nidoran. The Nidoran boy or Nidoran girl.
Oh man, I'm glad. It's funny you say that. I just got a Nidoran in Fire Red, so I'm working on leveling them up to Nidorino.
Well, I can't remember if that's one of them that the exclusives are like you can get Nidoran boy and I can get Nidoran girl.
No, you can get them both. You can get them both.
Because that's what I always started. Like you go to the my mind just went blank. What's the second town? Is it Viridian?
Pewter City.
No. Before that, like you're in Pallet Town, and then you go to another town.
Oh,
Viridian,
yeah,
right?
Viridian City. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Viridian. So you go off to the left. You can fight your rival, and then you can that little area right there is where you can get Mankey. I usually get a Mankey at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, Mankey, and then
that's where you find Nidoran boy and Nidoran girl as well.
Well, and I've got the boy now, and I'm working on leveling them up to get to Nidorino because obviously in Mount Moon you get a Moonstone, and I want to evolve him into Nidoking. So
I actually think I'm going to run a Nidoqueen this game. I was thinking about that. I'm going to run a Nidoqueen.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. So, but yeah, so we ran through and did our top 10. This is not our actual top 10. This was a blind rank top 10 of the OG
That's the
151.
best one you've done.
It is. Hey, I think I did okay. I didn't jack
You
anything
did
up.
better than you ever do. So
I think
I'll
it's
give you
also
that.
I think it's also because like I'm able to have access to screens and technology in front of me with how we're doing it this time. Instead of just going off the top of my head. Not that I don't have
Yeah.
technology usually. It's just easier to do it when you're sitting in front of a computer
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So
But
um,
yeah, that does it for now loading. So now we're going to jump into what's a new segment called split screen. Now, this whole segment, it has nothing to do with multiplayer, but what it has to do with is looking at something that existed then, something that exists now, and then just kind of talking about the comparisons. Now, we started getting into a little bit of this during our story mode because this particular side quest is going to focus around Pokemon because of everything Pokemon that got announced on the 27th. So, like I said, we have a couple bullet points specifically so that we stay on track in referring to how things were and how things are now.
so
I'll say the first one, Austin
yeah.
already kind of alluded to, and it is the hottest topic to me. But when you think about the OG games and you think about the new
So
games, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, and what you were getting at is the experience share. And for anyone who doesn't remember, I believe the experience share first came became a thing in the second set, so silver and gold, and or so Gen 2, and then but it was different. It has changed over the years. Which I believe you still get one in Leaf Green and Fire Red, right?
Yeah, you can still they have the way they have the old one from Gold and Silver
From which is just
where
a
you
single Pokemon instead of the entire party.
yeah, which in Fire Red you've got to catch 50 different types and then you get the experience share, but literally you equip it or hold the
It is a
experience
held
share
item that only splits between
yourself
you're
and one
using
other
versus
Pokemon.
one other Pokemon.
Yeah.
Whereas games nowadays, that's not how it works.
No, your whole party gets
your whole party
experience.
gets it. Your Pokemon that is fighting gets more,
Right.
but everybody gets experience.
And
So
I,
it made it, and that's something that made the game a lot more
grindy
and I
back
like
then.
what they did. I like what they did with it because they also made it to where since your Pokemon progress faster, they let your higher people at the end of the game are higher levels.
Yes. Like they
So that's
definitely
good.
well, that's the thing. They definitely counterbalanced it. Like the grind, like if I remember correctly, and obviously I'm gonna experience it whenever I finish Fire Red. In general, when you get to the last gym and even the Elite Four, like there it is not expected that you have a party full of level 50s. Like
I think the highest Pokemon you fight is it's like mid to high 50s if I remember right.
yeah. And generally if you were to play with your starter the whole game, you're going to be probably at like level 60 or whatever. But you still had to grind. Like there's no doubt. And I don't have the time or patience for grinding these days, which is, maybe it's cuz I'm getting old. But I will say when they announced Fire Red and Leaf Green, I was selfishly sitting back like, man, please tell me that they're going to do
Me
an
and you had this
enhancement.
conversation.
Oh man, it just would
No,
have been
which
great.
I'm glad they didn't because I like
No,
it's going to make me play the game more.
no, and I do agree. Like I've been playing it now, and I don't mind it as much. Like to be completely honest, but I would have.
I just think it's funny because like now, like games now, all your Pokemon are close to the same level. Like they're both within a couple levels away from each other.
Oh yeah,
Back like when I play Leaf Green, there's a huge chance my Venusaur is going to be like level 60, and every other Pokemon I have is going to be like level 38, 39.
oh dude, like
Because you know how the game's played.
I mean,
You just run.
even right now, my War Turtle is level 20, and my next closest is Pikachu because I've been trying to level Pikachu up because I'm coming up on this Cerulean Gym. Pikachu's like level 15, so there's already a 5 level gap there. But I've been
Yeah.
grinding with Pikachu. But the other thing, though,
Yeah, but what's your next level after that? Probably like 10 your Beedrill that you got evolved.
so actually, my Beedrill is at 10, but actually higher than Pikachu is my Pidgeotto because I made it a point to get Pidgey to Pidgeotto, and he evolves at level
Yeah.
18. So that's the second highest. But
Something else that you don't have on here. The other thing about like classic games versus now. So like when you need moves, like what I mean by that is when you need HMs and stuff, like your HMs, you have to have a like you have to have a flying type so you can fly. You don't even have to run a flying type in your parties now because of the way they fly
Oh
things.
yeah, they're well, and if I remember correctly, in the newer games, like you can continuously use and assign those.
Exactly.
Where
Like
back,
HM or TMs you can continuously use, whereas there you or in the classic games, you're use a TM one time, it's gone.
that's a wrap. That's it. Yeah. No, I
So
forgot about that. No, the other thing that I had marked down, I've already talked about, is the whole linear versus
versus open
open
world,
world.
yeah. So
You know,
I actually don't mind either one of them. I really like the open world version of it. I liked it quite a bit. Like I really like Scarlet and Violet. I have a couple hundred hours in it.
well,
The
and it's funny actually because I think they went on sale for Pokemon Day. I need to look to confirm, but I think one of the last like linear style ones they did. I don't think it was the last, but Diamond and Pearl,
Yep,
and they have Brilliant Diamond that like I don't think I've ever played it on the Switch.
it's good.
But it's a very linear style. I think I'm gonna get it because I think it's on sale just to have another Pokemon game like classic style feeling to go
Yeah,
back to. Because yeah, now like Winds and Waves is definitely gonna just maintain that open world. I have no doubt. But the linear aspect of the old games, I definitely prefer.
yeah. So the other thing is just talking about like post game content. I don't feel like there is post game. Don't get me wrong. Like you can still continue to try to fill out your Pokedex. You can get Mewtwo after a certain point. Like things of that nature.
Oh yeah, well in Fire Red
Um,
and Leaf Green, they've got the other islands with like Gen 2 and Gen 3 or whatever too.
do they have that in?
Yeah.
It would be only. I think they only have up to Gen 2. I think
Um,
there's 60. I think there's 16 because they did the same thing that Gold and Silver did if they did it, but I don't remember post game on the
No, and I didn't
Leaf
either.
Green.
Again, I didn't play them back in the day, but just based on what I've read about the re-release, like there's like this rainbow pass you get, and you get access to like 3 islands. Um,
Oh, okay.
so, but
But
it was very straightforward post game. Where now, of course, there's DLC, so there's new story.
season
There's
story, there's post game story. Like you beat the Elite Four, you're champion or whatever. But then there's like another 5 or 6 missions to do after you get out. Like I finished Z to A, and I still have all kinds of side quests that I have to finish.
oh my
And
gosh, I have so many.
yeah, so like that's what I mean about that.
Well,
So
and
and then the other thing too is just speaking of is online it changes completely
oh my gosh,
how the
well,
games are played.
and we talked about that with how it's frustrating that Leaf Green and Fire Red don't have an online, but I guess they're sticking to their roots, and like you said, it's probably just a direct ROM port, But back then, if you wanted to trade Pokemon or anything like that, like now you had to do a link cable, plug 2 Game Boys together, and do it. Where now, like I can
I can be like,
trade.
hey Scott, go ahead and hop on so I can trade you these Pokemon so I can get my Dex minute.
Which it makes it so much easier now with the
It does.
Pokemon that have to evolve. Like if you want a Machamp, if you want a Alakazam, if you want, back then you had to make sure to find a friend and then link up and da 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 and trade them and all that
Find
stuff.
time to be together. Now you don't have to do that. You can just be like, hey, look, get online real quick and do this for me.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly.
and then moving on from the games though, like the Pokemon cards, like the way that they changed cards now. I mean, now you have there's not a huge difference like we talked about, like within the actual gameplay.
Yeah, rule wise, it's
But
the only thing I can think of that was new was the whole EX thing,
so it went from you back in the day, you just had regular
evolutions.
evolution lines, and now you have EXs, and then they went. Then you have Megas, and they had a GX at one point,
Right?
and they
Yeah,
did
those were
bring
those like
in
sideways cards.
yeah, and they brought in the tag team cards for a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, in
I think
general, that's not a lot of change when you think of other card
not in
games.
mechanics, no, not in mechanics. But what has changed now is the collecting aspect and people
Oh
wanting
man, totally
graded
different.
full art cards. Whereas back then it was just you had them. It wasn't that big a deal.
Well, and I think it's interesting because I feel like Pokemon, like raw cards, don't have a whole lot of value. Their value comes from the grading. Because
Yeah,
I mean, you think of some of these other card games we've been playing. Like I've been flipping some raw cards for $1,000, but Pokemon like
just
they're
because the people want to use them. Like it's not for grading. It's because people want them for their deck.
yeah, exactly. Like it's just back in the day
So
we collected to collect. Where now, kids I think do collect to collect, but then you've got you've got scalpers, you've got the people who just want to grade stuff. I mean, it's just
yeah,
totally different.
yep. So And then the last topic for the split screen is going to be the anime.
Yeah, and you know
Dude,
dude, well,
Wayne brought this up. Wayne brought this up a couple weeks ago
about how
about
Ash
how
hasn't aged.
Ash is 10 years old for 15, 20 years. He
He
finally won a
is,
championship, though.
yeah, he's living the dream though. But you know what I feel bad about is I only watched the Indigo League. Like I don't think I have ever watched. Now I did watch the episode where he won it was a big deal, so I went online or on Crunchyroll
I
and watched
watched
it.
I don't remember what it's called now. The one that's on Netflix now.
It's not the X and Y one, is it?
No, it's Jin or Jin something.
Yeah.
It's the newer one, and it's Ash is still in it, but he's not.
The main
He wasn't
character.
really going like they were just doing stuff for a professor, basically.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I think of Pokemon and the anime, I always think of the first season, the Indigo League. But then
I was a big fan of the Orange Islands.
See,
when they had Tracy.
See, and that's the thing. I didn't even watch any of that, so I couldn't even talk about it. But
Wait,
will.
so did you finish whenever he lost Brock or not lost, but they all went their separate ways with him, Brock, and Misty? That was a sad episode.
I mean, if it was in that Indigo League, maybe.
I can't remember when that actually happened,
Yeah,
but there was. They both went back to be gym leaders or something.
Yeah, it's been so long. What I do when I think of the Pokemon anime, the thing that I think of more than anything was the movies. Like I remember seeing both movies.
Movies
in
were
theaters.
fantastic, yeah.
And even that newer one, that Mewtwo Strikes Back, it was kind of a rehash of the first movie, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the one with? Did you watch the one that came out a little bit? I don't think it was Mewtwo Strikes Back. I can't remember, but it actually showed Ho-Oh. Is that the one? Is that?
Yeah. I think that was the Mewtwo Strikes Back one.
That was a good one. I bought it when it came out because I was really excited about it. I thought it looked cool because it was like a remake of the original one, but you actually got to see Ho-Oh and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just one of those things, always fueled by the nostalgia of the old anime. But I don't watch the new ones, but I can appreciate the kids that do watch it and do enjoy it, and see the differences.
So, but I think that's it for our side quest, right?
That's it. I think we ought to go ahead and jump into our save point today. All right. Well, we said that we were going to do a Pokemon episode, and I don't think we intentionally waited until after Pokemon Day, but I think it just worked itself out that way.
So, Pokemon's something that it's been a big part of my life. It probably will continue to be a big part of my life. I'm going to try to make it part of my son's life. We'll see how that goes.
Well, yeah. It has to be. Like, absolutely has to be.
Pokemon and Star Wars, boys.
Hey, that's a crossover that, hey, if I feel like you need to ask Howie to try and make like so you like Bulbasaur and that's your go-to.
Oh, they have those. I know where you're going with this, and they already have the crossover.
Like a Jedi Bulbasaur or something like that. I feel is like the ultimate dream for you. Kind of like how I always talked about my tattoo idea of having Solid Snake and Goku fighting each other kind of thing. It's like the perfect fusion of fandom. But we did have our Pokemon episode, and it worked out, like I said, being right after Pokemon Day, which is on February 27th of every year. Now we just have to wait for a year or more for Winds and Waves.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's been a good day.
Because I genuinely think it's going to come out in
Q4. Based on, and I would have to look at all of the previous release
They usually
dates.
come out in like October, September.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then yeah, we're going to have a Q4 release, which in the grand scheme is fine. That means we'll probably get more ZA DLC. And frankly, maybe we do get a Heart, and maybe I'm just in denial, but maybe we get a Heart Gold and Soul Silver relaunch.
You can dream.
I know.
So what do we got on our next episode?
Yeah, so next week we are going to be jumping back into kind of a GameStop-centric episode, if you will. It's going to be from Midnight Lines to Empty Stores. I'm sure you can figure out what we're going to be getting into with that title. But it's going to be GameStop-centric, but also kind of, at a local level. Not to say that if you're not local, you're not going to appreciate what we get into.
Because it's happening everywhere.
Exactly. So, but, we say it every time, and I'll continue to say it every time. Thank you all very much for continuing to listen to us yak.
We appreciate it quite a bit.
We do. Definitely reach out to us if you haven't already, either on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, or of course the email.
All the platforms.
Yeah, all the platforms. We've got a little Linktree thing now. Whenever you go to any of those profiles, you can click on the Linktree, and those links will take you to a lot of different areas, all the social links, but also where to find the podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of those things. But then, of course, don't forget the email address, the midnightreleasepod@gmail.com. But we always appreciate it. Going to be looking forward to getting into our next episode next week. But yeah, we want to hear from you on any of these episodes, and Pokemon especially. Like if you're diving into LeafGreen and FireRed, just send emails about why people should not start with Bulbasaur.
I want to do a poll about who. Whoa! I want to see a poll of who the most started with.
I feel like there's probably a analytic tool available like now where there wasn't back in the day, where Nintendo could say, hey, based on FireRed and LeafGreen stats, here's the... I'd be curious to see what the percentage of starters are. I know Bulbasaur's the bottom, though.
That's messed up.
All right, man. Anything else that we need to cover before we close it out?
Again, thank you, and we can't wait. We'll see what everybody has message-wise for us, and then we'll be back next week.
Yep, looking forward to it. We'll jump in next week to our GameStop-centric episode, because always remember that some memories are worth lining up for.